What would you do if someone tried to fine you for walking on your own property? What if a neighbor screamed at you for violating rules you created? On land they don't even know you own? And what if that same neighbor, so proud of her HOA authority, ended up paying you rent just to sit on the sand she once banned you from? Sounds impossible, right? Well, it happened to me. And let's just say, she picked the wrong beach to police. This isn't just a story about a petty neighbor or an overreaching HOA. It's about hidden power, poetic justice, and a comeback that made the entire neighborhood go silent. Stick around, because the twist at the end? You won't see it coming. You ever have one of those moments where someone screams at you in public, absolutely convinced they've got the moral high ground, only for it to turn out they were yelling at their landlord? Yeah, that happened to me. Last summer, I was walking my dog along my beach, yes. My beach, when this woman I'd never seen before stormed out of her cabana, wrapped in a leopard print kimono like she was the queen of HOA herself. "You can't bring a dog here. That's a violation of HOA rules." She said it like she was quoting scripture. Loud, righteous, certain. I told her calmly, "Ma'am, this is a private beach." "Oh, I know," she snapped. "I pay for access." I nodded. "Yes, you do." And then I smiled, because she didn't know. Not yet. She didn't know that I own all the land under her feet. That her beachfront property? It's actually my rental. That HOA she loves hiding behind? It leases the sand from me. But I let her walk away, smug and self-righteous, like she'd won something. Because what she didn't know is, she'd just declared war. And I play long games. This is the story of how Karen, queen of citations and passive-aggressive lawn notes, tried to ruin my summer with HOA nonsense, and how I turned the tables so hard, she ended up paying me double rent to sit on the beach she banned me from. Buckle up! It started when I moved back to my hometown, one of those sleepy coastal places that turns into a postcard during tourist season and a ghost town every other month. I inherited the beachfront property from my uncle, a man with enough foresight to buy sand when it was still dirt cheap. Literally. The beach isn't just scenic, it's legal gold. The land runs from the dune line to the water's edge, meaning anyone who wants access has to lease it. Showa, private homeowners, tourists, all of them technically use my land. And for years, the arrangement worked fine. I leased it to the Seabreeze Dunes HOA at a discounted rate. With one condition. Residents could access the beach, but no permanent construction, no alterations, and no one could bar others from walking along it. My only real rule, keep it open and chill. Then came her. Her name was Cheryl, but you know the type, the voice, the haircut, the clipboard. She moved into one of the newly renovated units, 3 cabanas, down from my main path to the beach. Within 72 hours of her closing, she had introduced herself to the board, suggested light HOA bylaw updates, and asked if I'd be open to renegotiating the land lease to ensure higher standards. Translation: she didn't like people walking past her patio. Week 1, I got a call from the HOA saying there was concern about me walking my dog off leash. Even though it was before 7 a.m., no one was around, and again, it's my beach. Week 2, I noticed a new sign staked near my access path. Private hoe access only, trespassers will be reported. I pulled it out and left it on the HOA's office porch like a dead fish. Then came the notices. Handwritten warnings, little envelopes taped to my mailbox. Please comply with HOA beach rules. No unauthorized activity near dune grass. Residents must follow posted signage. That's when I realized something. She thought I was just another resident, not the landlord, not the man whose signature determined whether the HOA could legally walk their golden retrievers past the tide line. So I let her escalate. I let her dig her own hole. And then she called the cops. That was just the beginning. Picture this. It's Saturday morning. I'm drinking coffee on my deck, barefoot, robe on, pup at my side. Waves are crashing, the world is calm until I hear shouting. "Excuse me, you can't have a fire pit here." Cheryl had marched across the sand in flip-flops and fury to point out the small, portable fire pit I had placed on a stone platform, miles from vegetation, the night before. She had printouts of the HOA's bylaws, highlighted. "You're in violation of Section 423. I raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, I wrote Section 423. She blinked. "I'm not just in compliance. I'm the one who made compliance possible." That confused her, but not enough to stop the vendetta. The next week, she filed a formal complaint to the HOA, repeated violations of beach use policies, fire hazards, unauthorized dog, aggressive behavior. I'm not kidding about the aggressive behavior. I guess my eyebrow was too much. The HOA, spineless and tired of dealing with her, tried to mediate. But Cheryl didn't want mediation. She wanted control. She began organizing volunteer patrols, started filming people on the beach, even tried to have a picnic couple cited for unauthorized music. One night, she snuck out and posted new signs, fake ones. No dogs allowed. Permit required. All stamped with the HOA logo she printed off Google Images. Then came the final straw. She sent me an invoice for an HOA fine totaling $480 for multiple violations. My name was misspelled. That was it. I stopped smiling. It was time for the reckoning. I started with silence. No reply, no confrontation. I let her file reports, send letters, and strut around with her walkie-talkie. What she didn't know? The HOA's beach lease was up for renewal in exactly 21 days. And without that lease, every footstep on the sand becomes trespassing. So I began preparing. First, I notified the HOA, formally, that lease renewal was under reconsideration pending resident conduct. Then, I had my lawyer draft a set of updated lease terms. Simple changes, like a 30% increase in annual fees, new restrictions on signage, and a clause allowing me to revoke individual access at will. Then I visited Cheryl's unit. She opened the door in sunglasses and suspicion. "Ms. Cheryl," I said warmly, "you're standing on my property." She blinked. I handed her a laminated map. The beach, the boundaries, her patio. "As of next month, your HOA lease is not guaranteed. And since you've filed repeated harassment claims, I'm formally revoking your individual access. Effective immediately." She laughed. "You can't do that." "Oh," I said, "I already did." And I walked away. The next day, I posted signs of my own. Beach closed for HOA use, pending lease approval. Residents were confused, some angry. But then I sent a community-wide letter, clarifying everything. The beach, the lease, the behavior, the fines. By day 4, Cheryl was knocking on my door. Apologetic, flustered, asking if we could just talk. But I wasn't done yet. I called an emergency meeting with the HOA board. Residents showed up curious, some annoyed, some supportive. I brought binders, documentation, screenshots, videos, Cheryl's fake signs, the invoice with my misspelled name, a video of her shouting at a 9-year-old for building a sandcastle too close to her patio. Then I stood up. I am the owner of this beach. I've offered low-cost access for years. In return, I've asked for one thing: decency. What I've received lately is harassment. I paused, let the silence drag. Cheryl tried to interject. "This is personal." "No," I said, "this is legal." Then I unveiled the new lease terms. The room went quiet. 30% higher rates, 0 tolerance for resident interference, and a new clause. Any resident found impersonating authority or harassing others loses access privileges. People murmured. Someone clapped. The board voted. The lease passed. Cheryl lost her beach access. And here's the kicker. Because her condo's value included beach rights, and she signed under the HOA lease terms, she now had to pay a premium surcharge to regain access. So yes, she now pays me rent, monthly, to walk 50 feet to where she once screamed at me. And the first time she walked back out there, sunglasses on, beach chair in hand, I nodded at her. "Remember section 423? She didn't answer, but her silence was beautiful. These days the beach is quieter. The HOA got its act together. The residents, freed from Cheryl's reign of clipboard terror, are friendlier. There's even a community bonfire every other Saturday. Dogs welcome. And Cheryl? She still lives there. She still walks the beach. But she doesn't make eye contact anymore. And she hasn't posted a sign in months. Some say justice is loud. In this case, justice was a lease renewal form and a laminated property map. Look, I don't love conflict. But when someone tries to weaponize authority, they don't have to push others around, rewrite rules and bully their way to control. You don't just push back. You own the beach they're standing on. Takeaway? Know who you're talking to before you shout rules at them. And maybe don't pick a fight with the one person who can literally evict your footprints. Have you ever dealt with an entitled neighbor or a petty HOA? Drop your stories in the comments. I read every single one. And if you stuck around to the end, comment "justice served" so I know who's really here for the long game. Until next time, stay chill, stay cheeky, and always check the property lines.